Pretty cool, guys. So this is Pete Kirby. Kirby, they do all the underground. They, you know, if you got to get a pipe somewhere, which in my case, I need to get electrical and I need to get water lines, and I got to go about 400 feet, and I've got to go underneath a creek. I could dig that, but that would be a huge pain. So these guys are actually going to underground bore all the way up to where I need to hook onto my electrical and my water line, and then they're going to pull me back lines. So that's what this video is going to be all about. They just showed up. Actually, we're going to do this all tomorrow. This is the machine. They told me they just got done doing a 20-inch pipe. They just pulled a 20-inch pipe. That's impressive. I mean, about 20-inch. I'm only going to do a 3-inch for my electrical, and then a 1-inch water line. So this will be pretty easy for them, but it's going to be pretty cool. So let's get into this. All right, guys, so this was the first thing that Kirby wanted to do, was locate. This is where we've got a 4-inch pipe that's stubbed underneath the footing. This is gonna be for the water line. So now that they know where this is at and they know the depth about, they're gonna be able to figure out where they have to bring the pipe down, because they can't just bore from right here and go straight down and over. They need to go back far enough, and now they know the depth, they can know how far away they have to start to get that bore down to this depth, because the whole goal is to bring that pipe out, and then we can just right into that guy and take it inside without having to go through any of the wall here. Obviously it's a water line, so it's got to be below the frost line. Cool, first part done. So with me I've got Pete Kirby. Pete, this is your business.
Correct.
But you're saying this is the man that does a lot of the layout and stuff?
Yeah, he's another part of the team for sure.
So Juice, you're going to be kind of the lead going out there and following this machine?
Yep.
Which one of you guys want to tell us like what we're doing? Because I've only seen this in like videos on the internet where they epically fail and like things get put through cars and whatnot. But like what's that process? What are we going to do here?
So this technology was basically developed in the early 90s. It kind of came into full swing, I would say. You see it a lot now, putting fiber optic cables and stuff in.
Yeah.
We do pretty much anything that goes underground, we'll do it. So first thing we do is we call Julie, get them out here. Obviously here it's pretty easy, there's nothing.
Yeah, nothing back
across,
here.
we don't have to mess with anything. So we know we're clear. Then we'll kind of get as straight a line as we possibly can. Then you'll go out and kind of check the terrain. We kind of get an idea of the depth we want to run. Set the machine up, and you'll kind of see the action from there.
Are there any obstacles that you've seen? I mean, we have the creek. So you're going to have to go down under the creek and then back up. I mean, but no big deal. I'm still confused in how this is going to just move around. So we'll be able to see that in action, or?
On this computer, yes. So there's a computer inside of that bit.
Okay.
Which is on the very front of that machine that sends a signal to this other bit, or this other computer.
Yeah.
And that computer then sends a signal back to this machine and says where everything is. So basically this thing's sending a radio signal up, kind of like they say rainbowish, kind of coming up to you.
Yeah.
And it's going to tell you your depth, your pitch and roll, and your percent of grade.
So just
with those three things, you can tell where you are.
So before we get going though, I mean, you're able to make this go left, right, up, down, whatever way. How does that work? How do you do that though?
That's called a duck bill, that bit on the very front. And it's got an angle in it.
Okay.
Basically like a duck.
Okay, I can see that. Like this right here, you're saying?
Yep. So right now you're at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
So if I were just to push that, it would go down into the ground.
Okay.
And that's going to steer you down. So 6 o'clock is down.
Okay.
And once you're going to the direction you want to go, you just spin it.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to push 6 o'clock till we get probably into this pit.
Yeah.
And then we're going to spin until we hit our depth, close to the depth we want. Then we're going to put it on 12 o'clock and start leveling.
Okay.
And if we want to go left, we're going to put it on 9 o'clock. Push left.
That's simple. So whatever way this thing's pointing, it's going to push and go that way.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
So you only change the direction on the push, otherwise you go straight on the spin.
Yes, when you're spinning.
How fast per foot?
It's all ground conditions. So if this is the grounds we're in, I mean, as fast as the machine will go.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you want to keep good lubrication and water to it and everything, but
okay.
from what we're seeing here, it should be pretty good. I think we're getting into some sand, maybe a little bit of cobble under that creek.
Okay, you're not going to remove material. You're gonna basically push the hole open.
On this small of a size, yes.
Okay.
It'll remove some. We do have a bentonite in there that'll, if we do get into some sand or something, because sand you can't compact. It's basically fully compacted. So if we get into sand, it will flow the sand back.
And you were telling me that you guys just got done doing a 24-inch hole with this.
Yeah, we put 20-inch pipe in just here in
20-inch
town.
Pipe.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, this is like small child's play then.
Yeah, this theoretically should be an easy one.
Hey, we're not saying that. We're not. Yeah.
Especially on a Friday.
Yeah. You guys didn't bring lunches, did you? Because lunch is on me on Friday. So.
Hey, we never bring lunch on Friday.
Perfect. All right. I mean, there's no real auger on that. It's just solid pipe, just pushed right in.
That's crazy.
You making sure you got connection, Juice?
So I'm gonna GPS this shot.
Yeah.
So I gotta mark my 0 depth here.
Okay.
So it can map the terrain as we go.
Okay. Good to know. 6 o'clock, baby.
So like he was saying, 12 o'clock's up. This one goes in half, so you can go 12:30. So it's gonna be just a little bit to the right while you're going up, you know, and as you go.
Wow.
So, and there's your pitch. We're heading down at 27.5%. So we'll get rolling here. Once we get to about, I don't know.
Does that sucker automatically just grab a piece of pipe? Like, hey, it knows
He just hits the buttons.
So he has to control that?
Yeah, there's just buttons he hits.
Okay.
Then you just put the ball in the box. That's your front locate.
Oh, I see that.
We're gonna be 4'2" when we get to this point. So then I always drop back that line. That's the center of your bit. That's your actual depth. So we're 3 foot deep right here. Heading down at 27%.
So it knows at that pink mark over there, you're gonna be at 4.2.
Yep.
Within what accuracy?
Within an inch.
Good enough.
Yeah. For what we do, yeah.
So that's how you know at that other end, when you want to hit that basement hole, you can pre-plan it so it knows when you get there, you're going to be at 0.
Well,
or whatever the depth is.
Yeah. So the thing with that front locate is it gives you time to adjust. I mean, at this depth, you're only getting 3 feet to make it change. But, you know, when you're 10 foot deep and that signal's coming out, sometimes you're 10 feet ahead of it.
Ah.
So you have time to make adjustments if you need to.
Well, we have started to push, guys, and it's pretty darn cool. The technology involved here. How far do you got to start diving to get underneath this creek?
So I dropped them down to about -6%.
Okay.
It all depends on how fast you want to go down. I mean, you can scream it down and try and level, or you can just gradually go down.
What about all these trees and stuff?
Doesn't bother us.
No big deal, you just kind of push right through?
We'll go right through the roots.
Okay. But this is all eyeball. You're eyeballing it to where you want to go.
Yeah.
See? It's good enough.
If it looks straight, it is straight.
That's right.
Doesn't have to be straight, just needs to hit the final destination,
That's
right?
right. Oh, you got that mark out there. So guys, this is the main reason we need to do this line, because I've been running all my stuff at the shop based on this, I don't know, this was like an 8 gauge, no, yeah, it's an 8 gauge wire. It's about time to get this out of here, and so I'm pretty excited to get this conduit.
You don't want to catch this in the mower.
No, yeah, this is not super safe, so it'll be nice to finally get the conduit in, and so we can pull a real wire and get a real service out at the shop. This is pretty exciting, actually. This has got to go.
It's got to go.
It's here. It's been here way longer than I anticipated. I thought it'd be here for a couple months. ComEd would come.
Not only are you doing your wire, you're also doing your water and your internet.
Yeah, true. And I've been holding this. I've been not cleaning this freaking log up because it's supporting my electrical. You know. $100, Greg, if you eat it.
To eat a mushroom?
Yep, this one right here. So where are you at right now then?
Right here. I am
depth-wise.
5'8", so from bottom of the creek, I'm probably 5'3".
So from there, you will continue to go down enough to come back up, or is this?
No, I'm gonna stay here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll level here, and then probably once I hit that bend of the creek,
yeah,
I'll start coming up.
And you'll be able to get all that?
Yeah.
That's like 12 feet or so, or what?
It's 12 feet. That's if I was 3 foot deep at that bank.
Okay.
Which I'm gonna be, but I'm gonna be 3 feet and hopefully already coming up at like 12%.
Okay. So as long as you're already coming up, then every pipe...
if I can get, so that I'm gonna have to get to probably about plus 30. You know what I mean? So we'll be screaming up.
So you'll be at plus 30 when you hit the bank?
No, when I...
Oh, when you get to the end?
Yeah, well, hopefully poking out of the ground, we're about that pitch, roughly. We'll see.
So you guys can notice here, we did have Julie come out and mark. This is where my main service comes in, and you can see Juice way back there. So he's gonna be about 12 feet below here when he comes up to the edge of this creek, but he's gonna be making sure that when he comes to that edge, he's already at, like, I think he said I don't know what he was gonna be, but the angle, they can only get about 8 to 10% per pipe. So every 10-foot pipe, they can push that about 8 or 10% in elevation change, or in angle, I guess. So they got to get underneath, and then they're going to have to start bending that to get it all the way up to this point. You know, they're just going to push this out, and they're going to bring the pipe in here, and then I'll do some hand digging to get it into my actual meter box. But I mean, you can see how low he is. I don't know how it transposes on the video, but he's pretty low, and he's 5 feet below that creek right now. And he's gonna have to turn that and get it all the way up in just this short distance. It's actually quite impressive. So I guess I said Julie. Julie in Illinois is the 811 number that we call before you dig. So always call before you dig, man. I have a scary story. I thought I was gonna lose Greg because we dug. The customer said, this was back when I got started. Customer said, no, there's nothing here. You're good. I don't want you to call anybody because I don't want to get the county on me. And I'm like young and dumb. And I said, okay, no big deal. So we started digging. And I'm like, hey, Greg, I'm hitting something. Go ahead and check the bottom of that hole. And there was his electrical service. That was the last time I ever listened to a customer and didn't call Julie. So always call Julie in Illinois. I don't know what your 811 number is called where you're at, but that's what this is. So they do the locate. It's a public service. They come, they get 48 hours to make sure that they will mark all of your public utilities. There's your 3-inch pipe, Greg.
Oh my gosh. That's good stuff. I don't know.
What's on there? It says it's really deep.
Hope not. I mean, I hope it is, actually.
Wait, how deep?
I said it was 5 foot, but I'm not hooked onto it, so.
Because they put a bunch of rules in place that said, you know, if you buy this, people have to be, you know, deep enough to bring this pipe out?
I think so. I'd like to see it, though. Pitched. You can really see the steering portion of it. So here's the straight part, and you see how it's just angled just a little bit? That's how you get your steer out of it. So that's on 9 o'clock right now. So when you push, it's gonna bite into the ground and head that way.
Like a little hole right here that it was going to pop right out of the grass, and I'd have to dig it all the way back down, but Juice already did all the hard work, man. Hole's already dug. So where's the wire at?
So I put that flag.
Yeah?
It's 3'10", but it comes in like right here.
Oh, good. So they're putting a tracer wire on this pipe since it's a poly pipe. And even though this is going to be my future electrical service pipe, so I will be able to attach to the electrical line and trace it, there's nothing there yet. So just in case something happens, they can always hook up and find exactly where this is. So it's just a piece of metal that you hook onto. About 350 feet or 360 feet is what we had to push. So they'll pull this all back now, and then next thing we'll do is we'll see it coming out on the other end. I'll never miss an opportunity to run a piece of machinery.
All right, so all you gotta do, this is that jaw, that's locked on. So flip that off, put it locked. Now your right lever's gonna pull back, and you can spin if you want to with your left one, but you don't have to.
So when you say spin, is it like back or forward?
You're going the right way.
I mean, it's doing everything, Greg. I don't have to do nothing. That's it?
Nice work.
So guys, we're gonna start a new business. That was pretty easy, Pete. That was cool. That's it, guys. That's 3.5 inch or 3 inch pipe. 400 feet almost. Huh. I don't know what to say. That was actually way easier than I thought.
That was really easy,
Yeah. Did we get lucky on this conditions?
They were good.
They were good?
Yeah.
Good. So that's the electrical. So now that that was all good, everything went swimmingly. We didn't know if there was going to be a ton of rock and it was going to be a hard push. The goal is to get a water line into my basement. So I think they're going to reposition, and then we're going to push this all the way back up and try to get underneath the floor of my basement. We're going to cut a hole, so that'll be next. All right, so my biggest part of this job is going to be in here in my house. I've got to bring my water line in to hook up to this water service right here. This is my main water line coming in right here in this closet. I got to dig a hole, and then those guys are going to bore straight into that hole. That's the goal. First thing I got to do is I'm gonna have to bust open the concrete, get it cut open, hopefully not make too much of a mess, because when my wife gets home later, I don't want her to even know that we were here. So let's get into it. Well guys, we made it through the concrete. The only problem was yours truly didn't even consider the fact that he's on an outside wall, which means footing underneath this wall. So I started with like a 16 to 18 inch square, and now I'm down to about half of that.
Yeah,
no, a quarter
maybe
of that.
just a little over quarter.
But the good news is, Juice said he is directly in line with this hole, 2 feet down. So what we need to do is dig a hole down 2 feet so he can punch through the wall, and then we'll get our water line and our our conduit for our internet.
Yes.
And then we're gonna pull 2 conduits back so that I can run internet and water, which as you can see, there's my water line. So for all the work that we haven't been doing all day, now I get to sweat a little bit and do the old manual labor. But I got Greg here, so we're gonna trade off every so often. It shouldn't take too long.
You're right about there. Oh, you're about 18 inches.
I don't know, man. I'm not even gonna think about it right now. I'm just gonna do. These handles are just about too tall. But I don't want to cut them down because we need them for holes out on the job site. That's definitely a rock. Son of a gun. Dude, that's a good rock. Uh-oh. You know what that means?
There's water.
That's water. That's it. Yep, okay. The silver bullet.
Yeah, he said he overshot it a little bit.
There we go. So you can see the cream. That was the first sign that we were close because that's what they're pushing to lubricate and clean the hole as they go. And now I think you can back that up and hopefully get attached to it without any more digging or opening up of the hole, because obviously the less amount of concrete work I have to do, the better. Luckily this wasn't that bad, so I don't think my wife's even gonna notice. All right, cool. Let's go find the boys, let them know that they're here and get hooked up. I need a drink of water. So we just got 2 pipes ran out, 430 foot. That should be what we need. And we're now just kind of snaking them around. Juice actually got the tip right where we need it in the basement, and he tells me that we got a big enough hole. So we're gonna find out, because it ain't big. It's just about big enough to get a shovel in. Now we're gonna go ahead and get this pipe through a window in my basement, across the basement, and then hopefully get hooked on to the tip. And then we're gonna pull them both back. This is my water line and my internet line. Or really whatever I wanna use it for, I guess. And go probably there's more. How is it, Greg?
What was that?
How is it?
Not too bad.
Good, good, man. Only 400 more feet. It's like the old Chinese finger toys, huh?
Chinese finger.
Yeah. I honestly am claustrophobic a little bit, so when I used to put my fingers in those, it get me a little freaked out. Oh, I see. 1 second there, Greg. Not too fast, buddy.
Trying to slide everything and measure.
Need one of these for the job site, Greg.
Yeah.
Yep. So now that they've got the water line coming up and then brought back, before they finish it, you know, you got to think about, they're starting up here and they're drilling down to the elevation and then they're flattening out. Well, where this is angled from the machine out, that's above the frost line. So we got to dig back, which they marked right about out there somewhere. We got to dig back so that we can dig a trench and then lay the water line below frost line and get it into the building. So it's a little bit of digging. It's nice though, because there's a machine, I don't have to do it. It just looks too easy, man. Back up a little?
Maybe he pulled off. No, he can't pull off the pipe because it's in the concrete.
Close to coming in?
There, I got it.
So we've got the water line pulled through. This is gonna be water, and I'm going to get my electrical And while some of you may say it's not the wisest thing to do, I'm gonna probably pull my electrical right through the same conduit so I don't have to drill through the wall. Since I've already got this pipe coming in, I mean, why not? Just makes sense to me, and then I'll have no penetration going through this exterior, which is best for air control. And I got a 4-inch pipe, might as well. See what happens.
There it is.
All right. You guys, this was very informational for me. I've never actually seen this process done. By the way, this is directional boring.
Correct.
So that's the term. That's what you guys do. If somebody is searching for this sort of process, because I always thought, we were talking about this, I always thought that this was something that you had to be like in a city or a municipality. I've never seen this sort of process done in someone's residence. But you guys do this all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
And it is no big deal. So, you know, obviously this is Kirby Cable. Kirby Cable, Pete, thanks for coming out, by the way. And then Juice was like the man really in the trenches, so I appreciate that. That's like, you know, that's Greg. Greg's in the trenches. But you guys can, you know, Northern Illinois, you guys travel like the whole area.
Correct, yeah.
The whole Northern Illinois area. So if you need something, definitely give Pete a call. This was awesome. This was a fun, probably the nicest day, and it went really well. I can't believe we were able to punch it right into my basement. That made my wife very happy because the hole outside is minimal. It's like this big. So awesome, man. Well, if you guys want more information, I'll drop maybe a link to they have an Instagram account or Kirby Cable. You can look them up. And hey, give me a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed this. Drop any comments if you have them, and we'll catch you guys on the next video.